Hi guys, in this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to get input from the user. We're gonna basically allow the user to input information into our program, and then we could take that information that the user inputs into our program and we could store it inside of a variable. And then when we store it inside a variable, we could use that information and we could do something with it. So I'm going to show you guys how to get input from the user in my Python file. So it is basically input and then parentheses. This will uh, this will allow the user to enter information into our program. So it will basically it will tell Python like, hey, we want to get input from a user, and Python will allow the user to type in some information. Inside these parentheses, we need to type a prompt. So that is generally when we want someone to tell some information, we have to tell them like what information do we want them to tell us. So that's what is this, and that's what we're going to do here. Enter a name, or enter your name. And what this will do, this will allow us to get information from the user. So now I run it and it says, hey, enter your name. And so we could type into it and enter our name, as you can see. So using this, we can type in our information and it will store our information. So currently it is not storing our information and we cannot do anything with it because we don't have a variable. So let me just make a variable, and if you don't know what is a variable or strings or data types, then you can check out my previous video on which I showed you how to I showed you all this, all variables and data types. So and print statement. I'm gonna say name equal to input, enter your name, and now we are actually storing that information into this variable. And now if I print name, run it, enter your name, and as you can see, it first using the input statement, we allow the user to enter information, and then we store that information into this variable right here, and then we print that information that the user input into our program. So we're gonna create a mini we're gonna create a small program right now, which will basically first the user enters their name and age, and then we take that and we say hi and the user's name, and we also tell them that what is their age. So we have this variable right here, name, already done, so we could say print hi plus name. So now I run it, and it says hi David. So now it says hi David. So we're doing the same thing. We're getting input from the user using the input statement, and then we're storing that we're gonna store that information into the variable name, and then we're printing that information with hi. So we want to do the same and get the user's age. So I could say age equal to, we'll use the input statement again to get input from the user, and this time I'm gonna say enter your age, and that's done. And now we also want our program to print the age, so we're also gonna do that plus, and then we could say you are, wait, you are plus age. And now if I run it, wait, I need to do that space or else. Now, first we enter our name, Jared, and then we could say age, I could say anything you want, 25, and then we say, hi Jared, you're 25. So, this program is getting the information, using the input statement, storing it into the variables, and then we're using that information to print, and we're getting output here. Hi Jared, you're 25. So let me run it again and enter your age, and it says, hi David, you are 20. So this is a basic program that allows us to get information from the user and then do something with it. Now, using this concept, we're also going to create a calculator that will do basic calculations. So in this calculations, we'll have two numbers, and then we're going to take those numbers and we're going to do the calculations, and then we're going to print the output. So we're going to do that using the input statements and variables, of course. So I could say number 1 equals to input statement to get the information from the user, and we're going to say enter a number. So number 2 will say is equal to input, enter another number. So using this, we will get the information from our user, and we'll also store it in these variables, and then now we'll create one more variable calculation in which we're gonna add both of these variables, and then we're gonna print the output of by adding both of these variables. So to do that, I'm gonna say calculation, where I've created a new variable right here, and I could say to add them, it is basically number 1 plus number 2. And if we could do multiple of these, number 1 or number 2, or this would be subtraction, this would be division, this would be multiplication. So it is quite easy to do the calculation, and then we'll just print the calculation that we have done right here, and that will be our output. So if I do this, because we don't need multiplication, we are doing addition here, and then I print, and then we could say calculation. So enter a number. So 20. And it says enter another number. So it is working fine till now. I could say 12. 2012. So right now it is not working as the way we want it to work, because it is adding strings here, because we don't have it converted into a number. Right now, as you can see, it is between those quotation marks, and those convert anything to a string. So this will also be converted into a string, and we don't want that. We want a number instead of a string, so that we can do calculations. So that is, we could basically do that int. So if you don't know about int or float, we use this to convert anything to a number, and we are using it here to convert this string, the information that we get from the user, to convert it to a number, because right now we are getting a string and we cannot do calculations with words or alphabets, right? We can only do it with numbers. So I'm going to say int, and you can do that by basically int and parentheses. So let me type it again to be more clear. So int parentheses, then we're going to type input parentheses, then we're going to say enter a number. So now the number, the information that we get from the user is getting converted to a number, and then we're storing that information, and then we're using that information to do calculations, and then we're printing an output. So I'm gonna do the same for here, int. And if you want to learn the print statement and you learn the basics, you might want to follow along so that you can learn and memorize all these things. So now let me try it again. I could say 12, 20, and boom, as you can see, we have 32 instead of, that weird number like 2012. Now we have 32. 20 plus 12 is equal to 32. That is correct. So let me try again. 2 plus 100. 102. As you can see, guys, it can do basic calculations. It can do addition. And this is our basic calculator. But right now in our calculator, we can't get any decimal numbers. See, if I do any decimal numbers, 10.5, it says an error because, as you know, int does not support decimals. It only supports whole number. For decimals, we need float. What a float supports both whole numbers and decimals, so we might want to use that as we because all the calculations we do are not in whole number, they're also in decimals, so that would be better. So now I do 12.2, and we could say 12.8, and boom, 25. So because this is the correct answer. And again, we're getting that information using the input statement. We're converting it into a number using a float statement, and then we're saving that information into a variable, and then we're using that information to do calculation, and then we're printing that calculation or output. And if you don't know, int is used for numbers with whole numbers, and float is used for decimals and whole numbers. So float would be better here. And if you guys wanna see my previous video to learn about data types like float and int and strings and the print statement and variables, the link will be in the description. Please like and subscribe.